Hello guys, NautoAis here, and this will be a bit of surprise because why am I talking this now, not during at August after this event, and that is the Pokemon World Championship 2025 and 2026. Yes, so I'm not going to be talking about the championship, not really interested to some extent, but for the winner, congrats, it is what it is there. And they even mentioned some mobile announcement, but by the time of this recording, it's already done, such as Eternatus was at Anaheim for Pokemon Go. That's the only way you can get it. It's a raid. And then Pokemon trading card game, they have new cards. It is what it is there. And then another announcement is that Pokemon ZA, of course, is going to be coming out by the time of this recording. And they did introduce in that event an online component where you rank up. And the downside to some extent is that in order to get certain Mega Site for the Kalos starter Pokemon, you have to participate on this rank battle. I guess there's some sort of event. It is what it is. They already announced that there will be an event when the game's launch on October 16. It is what it is, whatever. Kind of BS. Of course, another one is the DLC, but it's a business. There you go. So the two announcements I want to give my thoughts is, first, the Pokemon Championship 2026 is going to be in San Francisco. However, they also introduced, they call it the Pokemon Experience, which is, I guess, sort of an event convention about everything Pokemon. Maybe it's history, maybe it's presentation, the franchise, whatever. Because if you didn't know, 2026 is going to be the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, because in Japan, Pokemon Red and Green came out in 1996. Yes, in the West was 1998 because localization, and to some extent, Iwata basically helped them trying to improve the game. Kudos to him. So that's why they're doing sort of a major event, because it's celebrating its 20th anniversary. But the interesting part for me is the game they're going to use for the video game tournament. Of course, for the Pokemon Go, that's the tournament itself, cards itself, Unite's another one, and I guess they're done with Pokémon, so they don't even do Pokémon anymore because they dropped the game. They're done with it. So, but in the video game side, normally would be Pokemon's card invited because, I mean, each of those main games have online component. I mean, granted in the past, but not so much until Sword and Shield. That's why. Of course, to some extent, the controversy with the National Dex thing. And I might give my thoughts about the Pokemon League. Yes, apparently there was another Pokemon League. Kinda suck. Some are like obvious, yeah, that's gonna happen. But there were surprises, such as employees within the company having faction problems. Surprise. Apparently, let's just say one of the spoiler is Junichi Matsuda. I don't know about it. I might give my thoughts about it in a different video. I'm going to look up to it because a lot of people already said that. I'm like, oh boy. And Omori, and if you don't know who Omori is, he's the guy, the director for Sword and Shield, but he also the guy that pushed to stop the national deck due to development problem. And some people did try to defend Omori at the time because they said he got to do what he got to do. People didn't like that no national deck. I already gave my thoughts about it. Apparently, this guy is not good as what people think. I mean, he wasn't even in charge with Scarlet and Violet to some extent. So the biggest thing I want to give my thoughts on this one is the video game side. Is that starting in 2026, is that they'll be using Pokémon Champion. If you don't know what that is, in the Pokemon Present, in Nintendo Direct, they already show what this game is. Yes, it's confirmed it's going to come out in 2026. And what it is a very dedicated Pokemon Stadium game. So remember those Stadium series games from the N64, GameCube, and Wii, and then they stopped because people just, I guess, not buying them. Because that one is basically a competitive type game. There's no story mode. You don't catch Pokemon there. The idea is that your Pokemon from your portable side, you transfer them in the Coliseum or the Stadium game. That's what it is. Champion is the latest Stadium game. It's a free-to-start game. I don't know how they're going to do with it, but it'll be interesting. So the reason I'm talking about it, moving forward in 2026, they'll be using that one. Is it good or bad? Well, judging by the story is, I'm going to assume that this game's going to be a game as a service. Free to play, free to start. That's why. And that throughout this game, they're probably going to be updating it. They're going to add more Pokemon to a point that you can probably do a national deck. I don't know, because there's like more than 1,000 Pokemon now, so that's going to be like pain in the ass. But cut and paste, maybe, because you already have 3D Pokemon from Sword and Shield, Diamond and Pearl. I know that game's ass. Legend Arceus, Legend ZA, Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet, and the next Pokemon main game, the Gen 10. I mean, it's a game as a service. Just think about that. Plus, you probably can do a lot of those gimmicks, such as Mega Evolution, Devastation, maybe in the long run, Z-Move, maybe Dynamaxing to some extent. Because if you didn't know, that you can do that in Pokemon Go, all that gimmick. In the main game, depends which game you play, it has its own exclusive gimmick. But for Champion, maybe you can do a Dynamax to some extent, Mega Evolution, Z-Move, or Terralize. I don't know. Well, that'll be interesting. So it is sort of interesting. That's why I want to give my thoughts on that. This game could be the game, a definitive game to be used in the competitive level rather than using the actual game itself. Because I don't think they're going to use Pokemon ZA for competitive because it plays way different. And there's no Gen 10 yet. It's not yet announced. And I wouldn't be surprised in Pokemon Champion with an update once that game comes up, probably in a long time. They'll add Pokemon from that generation in the long run. I mean, gotta wait and see. Again, right now, Pokemon Company is focusing on ZA. 2026, to some extent, Pokemon Champion is going to be on mobile phone and on the Switch. Switch 2, whatever. Just have to wait and see how the game performs. So it'll be interesting that this game could be the definitive version they're going to be using no matter what. That you don't need to change the game like in Evo with Tekken 7, then suddenly 8, Mortal Kombat 11, then 1, Street Fighter 5, 6, you get the idea. You have this sort of stadium game in the modern years, in 2026 and beyond. They're going to be using that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to stick with that one. That'll be awesome there. So that's what I'm sort of intrigued. I want to give my thoughts on, because it probably makes more sense. It's probably easier for the organizer to provide like a video game tournament. Who knows? And again, I wouldn't be surprised. There's going to be a lot of updates on this game, adding more Pokemon in the long run. And maybe when it first released, there's already a lot of Pokemon that you can transfer. Remember, it's compatible with home. So any Pokemon you have from home, you can sort of transfer and champion. So there you go. So if you have a powerful, let's just go with a Fuecoco. I don't know the later evolution. A level 50 Fuecoco. You can transfer that at home, and then you can use that on Pokemon Champion. I'm just saying, but to some extent also that you can also use rented Pokemon also. They kind of mentioned that. But there you go. My thoughts about it. It will be interesting 2026 when this game been released, how they're going to use it, how they're going to approach it, the direction for it, using Pokemon Champion. No more using Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to some extent. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're not even going to use Pokemon Gen 10, but we'll just have to wait and see. So with that, I'll see you guys later.